All right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Friday, May 28th, wrapping things up for another great week here at the Wine Watch. We got a holiday weekend coming up. We are going to be here tomorrow, folks. That's right. Monday, I'll be here for a couple hours, but we'll be pretty much closed most of the day on Monday. Tonight, what are we drinking? We've got the Brunello tasting here at the store. That's right, folks. We are taking down these 10, well, probably 8 tonight because we're only 8 people, but that's all right. More for us to drink. I'm never disappointed about a small event. As long as we have enough people to open the bottles, I am happy. All right, well, what are we trying to sell you today? Today, we got an event to promote next week, an vintage Australian tasting here in the store. And I guess we could call next week Australian Wine Week here at the Wine Watch because we've got a tasting Wednesday night with Australian wines, the Foster's Group at Cafe Max. But next Friday, a week from today, is going to be here at the store. We're taking down, again, 10 bottles of wine, 10 years or older from Australia. There's been a lot of buzz in the press about Australian wines and how they will not age. Some people are very critical of Australian wines because they add acid to the wine. That's right, folks. It is legal to add acid to wine. In France, they used to add sugar to the wine on a regular basis. They called this practice chaptalization. Okay, well, in order to make a correction in an area where it's too hot, because in France it was too cold, they didn't get enough sugar in the grapes, they had to add sugar to it to get the alcohol to an acceptable level. Well, in Australia they have the exact opposite problem. It's very hot in some areas, some key growing areas in the South Australia, and they have to add acid to the must. Now, if you're adding acid to the wine, you want to make sure you want to add it to it while it's fermenting. That way it gets integrated into the wine. So there are several writers that have made statements that they don't think these wines are going to age because they are manipulated. One of the things they also do to some Australian wines is add tannin. That's right, folks. They add tannin to the wine. This is a substance that's found in every living plant. If you pick up a tree, you take a twig off it, and you bite on it, that bitter flavor in your mouth is the tannins. And the same thing in wine. And wine needs a certain amount of tannins in order for it to age for a long time. One of the most famous wines from Australia, Penfolds Grange, they add tannins to this wine. And it doesn't mean that the wine's not going to age. We've had some great old Granges. I had a bottle of 76, an empty one here sitting behind me for quite some time. And the old Penfolds Granges, you can tell them because they have a white capsule on them. We're not going to be serving Grange tonight. We've got the old bottle of Grange there. And this wine was still drinking beautiful. We did do a tasting last year with some old Australians, 10 years or older. And what prompted me to do this is Robert Parker wrote in his Wine Advocate, wrote up some wines, some older Australian wines, 10 years or older, just to see how they'd be tasting. And many of the wines he was still raving about. And kind of disproves the theory that Australian wines do not age. But you know me, and in my infinite wisdom, I have to do my own tests. We don't trust all these wine writers. We have to test things out. I'm constantly doing scientific work here at the Wine Watch. So our fans and our patrons will be the benefactors. Next Friday night, check it out on today's email. 10 vintage Australian wines will be going down here at the Wine Watch. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasone for the Wine Watch, signing off, saying remember, always drink the good Aussie wines first.